how can you feel confident and consistently feel good in your day-to-day interactions with others, especially if you're speaking, let's say, with your clients, your management, your peers, your team, right? How can you really maintain that confidence level and self-esteem? Hi, I'm Marissa Santoro, and I help professionals own their value so they can consistently stand out and increase their impact and income in their careers. You know, there's a little exercise that we do here at In Our Shoes, which it's internal, and it's something that you want to do and consider as a everyday habit. Ideally a 21-day habit, because they say it takes 21 days for any habit to stick. And it's called the mirror exercise. And it's a little odd in the beginning because it's not something that you would normally do, but it's essentially looking at yourself at the end of the day in the mirror. So you could weave this in when you're brushing your teeth or taking a shower, before or after, and looking at yourself at the end of the day in the mirror and sharing, while staring at yourself, all of the things that you're proud of that you did that day. Now, I'm not talking about these big lofty goals like I secured a new client, or I knocked out that project with success, or I asked for a raise and I got it. Those are all great things to celebrate, by the way. But I'm talking about on a day-to-day basis, right? It's the little things that we want to acknowledge ourselves for. So, for example, let's say you got a chance to get home a little bit earlier and you had the energy to cook dinner for the family, right? You're normally grabbing takeout or you're eating leftovers, and today you felt like you were at a good energetic state where you can do that, and everybody sat around the table, right? That might be a really big win for you, because in your busy working world that doesn't happen very often, and this week it did. Or it could be something internal. I did a presentation at work, or I spoke to my boss about some ideas that I had, and he or she didn't agree with all of them, but I really shared why I felt so passionate about the direction that we're going in. And ultimately, I also shared some of the things that I think could really help as a growth opportunity for me in my career and even my team. Right? So that could have been a quick little conversation that you had, maybe a 5-minute conversation or a 10-minute conversation that you had at work, but you really felt heard, and you shared a little bit about what you're seeking in the next 3 months, for example. So looking in the mirror and just acknowledging anything that you did, right? It could be as simple as I don't know, like maybe finishing up your resume, right? You're actively looking for a new job, and you recently finished your resume, and now you're ready to sort of to broadcast that out to the people that have the opportunities, the recruiters, the network, internal, external network. So on a regular basis, look in the mirror and just share anything that comes up for you, almost like a stream of consciousness of the things that you recognize in yourself, right? The progress that you've made. And although I love the big ticket items and I love the big celebrations, it's the little things that we do that we often sweep under the rug, that we don't acknowledge ourselves for. Even having a conversation with someone, about some of your concerns. If you have a coach or a mentor, sharing some of those with an external resource, that's a win, right? Most people bottle up all the things that are happening or they're struggling with in their head, and they don't talk to anybody. And so even picking up the phone or sharing in an email, here's where I am, and here's where I want to be, and here's what I'm struggling with, that's a win. So now, why the mirror? Because when we look in the mirror, it's real, right? We're looking at ourselves and we're acknowledging ourselves, right? You're not in your head. It keeps you more present to you. And as a final closing action in this exercise, you say your name, I love you. So if I were doing this exercise, Marissa, I love you. And that's it, right? We're talking about a 5-minute conversation. You are speaking out loud, so that's the uncomfortable part I mentioned earlier. It is a little weird to sort of hear yourself speaking out loud. If you live with others, a spouse or family, children, for example, they may hear you speaking to yourself in the mirror and think there's something going on. So you might want to just share with them what you're doing. But the mirror exercise is so powerful. It's really transformational, because if you know anything about imposter syndrome, the number one solution to imposter syndrome is getting out of your head. And that happens to be also a fast path to raising your confidence and your self-esteem. Really acknowledging yourself. It's a form of self-love. And As I said, they say anything takes about 21 days to stick. So I invite you to try this exercise, look in the mirror, acknowledge the wins that you've made that day, and keep that up every single night before you go to bed. If you don't feel like doing it in the mirror, you forget, and you're in bed, then just grab your phone, turn around the selfie camera, look in the camera so you can see your eyes while you're in bed, and make sure you acknowledge yourself and end with, I love you, right? Self-love, self-trust. This is what raises confidence. This is what helps us move and step into areas that we are just slightly uncomfortable with, and it really gives us the momentum to keep going. All right, well, I hope this was helpful. I'm Marissa Santoro with In Our Shoes. Thanks for stopping by. I will talk to you soon. Bye now.